Another one dead.
Hey guys, First Regardsman here, and today I'll be talking about the modding scene in Space Marine 2. And now, Space Marine 2 has been out for nearly a year now, and during that time period, we have seen some truly talented mod authors take to the scene and make some spectacular gameplay and cosmetic overhauls, and most recently, we have seen the Astartes overhaul team release their new update for the Terminator class. Oh yes, you can now play as a Terminator in Space Marine 2, and these guys look phenomenal, and this update to their mod is pretty incredible, so let's get into it. Now, if you don't know what a Space Marine Terminator is, these are the tactical dreadnought armored Astartes of a given chapter, and they are usually used for things like line breaking and boarding actions, which is why they get the heavy flamers, pyre blasters, storm bolters, and power fists, and they are also equipped with a teleportation device to go into enemy lines and board enemy ships, and this is actually reflected in gameplay with their deep strike ability, which will teleport you to a selected area and deal area of effect damage, so pretty cool lore tidbit there, and honestly these guys feel pretty lore accurate in game, and they start off with a fat 5 armor class, and their perk tree is simply loaded with stuff like secure stockpile, armor reinforcement, damage reduction, even more armor reinforcement on top of things like increased HP with fortitude, and things like being invulnerable for 5 seconds after teleporting or your armor is fully depleted, so very, very strong options. And you can also summon your own squad of 3 tactical marines, a dreadnought, or even stuff like Cadians. So these guys are really like sky is the limit for them, and they are pretty damn OP for being honest, but hey, it's kind of like the purpose of a Terminator. They are a strike class after all. Now, your customization options for armor are a bit more limited than like the other classes are, but that's kind of to be expected because it is a Terminator class. It's like a whole new model here, so the fact they put in any is pretty cool. So first up, we have breastplates, quite a few options here. A lot of this looks repurposed from the heavy class, but still looks amazing. And also we have over here different pauldrons, stuff like this, so quite a few options here. The knee pads are a bit limited, as well as the gauntlets, but you know, what do you really expect, because this is a really cool class regardless, and the armor looks pretty perfect, assuming you know you want to play a Terminator. Now, for the Astartes chapters, you can always change your colorings here. A lot of cool options, and also like the glowing of the eyes looks very, very cool in the Astartes overhaul in general compared to the base game. So really neat options here. I'm kind of glad they add this in. Some of their other previous classes didn't allow for like Astartes chapter changing, but this one does, and they look pretty great. That's pretty much all there is for the actual customization here. Time to showcase some actual gameplay, and as always, guys, thanks for watching. All right, here we are in game as a Power Sword Imperial Fist Terminator. Now, the Power Swords are my favorite weapons in the base game, period, and on a Terminator, it's like spectacular. Alright, let's blast through these guys. I'm gonna teleport back onto them. So. Let's summon Arcadians. Alright, blast this guy. Maybe get a boss spawn up ahead later. Shot the pin. Now, Terminators are some of the toughest guys you're going to find outside of like the actual chapter dreadnoughts, so there's a reason they call them tactical dreadnought armor. Because you know, you're only a couple steps below. And being a dreadnought, well, it's usually seen as an honor, but not exactly my cup of tea. Let's pop these guys, and I'm gonna see if I can teleport up there. Oh yeah, look at that. Just like in the lore, the boarding action. Pick them up. Crack grenade. That's for Storm Bolter. I do hope they actually add in the Storm Bolter into the base game at some point.
They attempt to bring reinforcements.
Or triple Lictor, you know that. Or Terminator. That's one down. My poor little Cadians. Yeah, teleport's pretty damn good.
cut through him. That Elytra will be back eventually. And every time I play the Astartes Overhaul, I always forget how much I miss the actual Storm Bolters. One of my favorite guns they've actually added here. You. That's a wrap on that. We also have a Pyre Blaster here to absolutely cull through some Zangors, and of course whip out our Storm Bolter and shoot the Zangor and Lightning in the face. Man, these guys suck. Alright, he's still gonna try to grab me. Let's just teleport on him. Bam. And that is the power of the Terminator. Bring all of our little Cadians along. So I'm a big fan of the Astartes Overhaul customization. I think it's one of the coolest things in the entire game, period. I wish that the customization was even like close to what we find in this mod, though a huge part of that is just that they don't have really any overhead compared to the actual dev team, and they go through Games Workshop, things like that. Even if they don't go through Games Workshop, they can go through their boss at the end of the day. So mod authors do have that luxury, and overall, Saber Interactive is pretty nice to mod authors, and they do work alongside them, give them a ton of mod tools, open up the game a ton, and really, like the coming years, I am very curious to see what kind of mods we're going to have in this game, because if you look at some of the older games like Dawn of War, you know, any Bethesda game, any game that is willing to open up their modding scene as much as this one is pretty rare, so I'm pretty shocked that like they were so open to that, but Saber Interactive is actually pretty epic on that front. Alright, let's move down here and cut through the filth. Oh, here they are. Come find us. Alright, it's just one guy. Well, you know, he's not that guy. I mean, he's definitely not that guy when I teleport on him. Or do this. He was not that guy.
Your worthless life is empty.
So that is most of what there is to the Terminator class in the patch 9.1 update for the Astartes Overhaul. Now the Astartes Overhaul is obviously significantly more than the Terminator class, but this class does have access to basically every primary weapon in the base game. That's not like sniper rifles, because that really wouldn't make any sense for a Terminator to use. Same thing for the melee weapons, he has pretty much all of them except for like the chainsword and the knife, because why would a Terminator use a knife? And the power fist is usually what they are seen with. And as far as the other perk tree selections go, you do have stuff like being able to summon the 3 Tactical Marines, summon the Dreadnought, and summon 15 Cadians, on top of god tier team perks with Advanced Conditioning, Focus Restoration, and Secure Stockpile. And for the prestige levels, you can actually select a few things here like Spare Power, Second Look, Skill Supplier, Resilience, Fortitude, and Exigency Charge. And this perk might actually be pretty good on this class because it has a 30% health increase with Fortitude, so pretty neat there, because normally in the base game this perk sucks, but either way you can really prestige this whole class if you want to. He does actually get instantaneously leveled off of like a minimal mission, because the Astartes Overhaul is really about leveling your characters to begin with, and there are other classes too like the Chaplain and Apothecary if you want to try out these, and they also have their own extensive perk trees here with the Chaplain, and the Apothecary is all about healing, as you would expect with stuff like, you know, Advanced Recovery. All squad members regenerate 1% health every 2 seconds. Kind of busted, but the Astartes Overhaul is about the rule of cool and power fantasy, and one of the other coolest things about this mod are like the extensive armor customization options for the base game classes, with things like Firstborn helmets that I desperately wish were in the base game, because these things look super cool, and I also wish you could make like a proper Retributor in this game, but I digress. The customization options are like the coolest part of the entire mod for me personally, and you also get to change out your shield for the should have mentioned this, the Terminator also has a shield selection. If you take this perk, you can also put on the shield, which is why you get the War Gear selection in your armor set here to select a different shield type. But that's pretty much all there is from me on the Terminator class and the Astartes Overhaul today. I will leave a description to the mod page in the description below, or excuse me, I will leave a link to the description for the mod page in the description below. Okay, I fucked it up twice. Point is, it's in the description below. You can try the mod yourself, and if you like content like this, subscribe for more, and as always, take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching, and support the mod authors. They do an amazing job. Bye.